Ladies and gentlemen, life is a journey filled with relationships, some that lift us higher and others that hold us back. The people we surround ourselves with shape our thoughts, habits, and ultimately our future. If you're looking to elevate your life, you need to take inventory of those relationships and ask yourself, are these people helping me grow, or are they pulling me away from my potential? Now, cutting ties, especially with family or longtime friends, may seem harsh. But let me remind you, loyalty to someone else should never cost you loyalty to your own growth and purpose. Let's explore 9 signs that it's time to step away, even from those closest to you. Have you ever noticed how some people bring a storm wherever they go? If every conversation is filled with complaints, criticism, or pessimism, it's like carrying a bag of bricks everywhere you go. Life is challenging enough. Don't let someone else's negativity weigh you down. If someone rolls their eyes or discourages you every time you talk about your goals, take note. A true friend or family member cheers you on even if they don't fully understand your vision. If they're not rooting for your success, what role are they really playing in your life? Whether it's manipulation, lying, or disrespect, toxic behavior is never acceptable. You teach others how to treat you by what you tolerate. If someone continuously crosses the line, it's time to draw a boundary. Some relationships are like bad investments. You keep pouring time and energy into them, but you get nothing in return. These people leave you feeling exhausted rather than uplifted. Surround yourself with those who recharge you, not those who deplete you. If someone constantly reminds you of your mistakes or limits you to who you used to be, they're not recognizing your growth. Your past is a lesson, not a life sentence, and no one has the right to keep you stuck there. When someone secretly resents your progress, it shows in subtle jabs or unsupportive actions. Envy is a silent killer of relationships. You deserve to be celebrated, not secretly competed with. If you're always the one making the call, initiating plans, or offering help, it's time to reevaluate. Relationships should be a two-way street, not a one-sided highway where you're the only one putting in the effort. If someone refuses to grow or change while you're actively improving yourself, that gap will widen over time. You can't force someone to change, and you shouldn't slow down your growth to match their pace. Boundaries are a form of self-respect. If someone repeatedly disrespects your time, values, or limits, it's a clear sign they're not valuing you. You can't build a healthy relationship on broken boundaries. Let me tell you something about negativity. It's a subtle, insidious force that can slip into your life without you even realizing it. You see, negativity doesn't have to be loud or in your face. Sometimes it's quiet, like a shadow that follows you everywhere you go. It's the constant complaints, the never-ending focus on what's wrong, and the inability to see opportunities when they're right in front of you. So, we all know people like this. Every time you talk to them, they've got something to complain about, whether it's their job, their relationships, or the world in general. They're like emotional vampires, draining the energy right out of you. At first, you try to be supportive, right? You listen, you offer advice, you encourage them. But over time, you realize something. No matter how much you help, no matter how many solutions you give, nothing changes. They never move forward, and you're left feeling tired, frustrated, and stuck. Here's the thing, negativity isn't just something that happens to people. It's a choice. It's a mindset. You can choose to focus on problems, or you can choose to focus on solutions. And those who choose to focus on problems will never grow, will never find success, and will drag anyone in their path down with them. And if it hasn't happened to them, then it sure as hell won't happen to them. Now, I'm not saying we should all be happy-go-lucky all the time. Life is tough, and we all face our challenges. But there's a big difference between facing adversity with strength and optimism and constantly dragging yourself and others into the pit of negativity. If someone in your life refuses to see the good, refuses to look for opportunities, refuses to take responsibility for their circumstances, then you have to ask yourself, is this the kind of energy I want around me? There's a law in life. You become who you associate with. If you're surrounded by negative people, you're going to start adopting their mindset. And before you know it, you'll find yourself focusing more on what you can't do than what you can. You'll see obstacles instead of opportunities and limitations instead of possibilities. It's the law of association. The people you spend your time with either lift you up or pull you down. The ones that lift up the most are the ones that you lift up the most. The people you spend your time with either lift you up or pull you down. If you're not careful, the negativity will become part of who you are, and that's the last thing you want. So here's what you need to do. Start protecting your energy. Choose to spend time with people who inspire you, who motivate you, who are hungry for success and growth. The moment you detect negativity, whether it's from a friend, a colleague, or even a family member, don't hesitate. Start setting boundaries. You owe it to yourself to cultivate a mindset that's focused on growth, opportunity, and positivity. By the time, if you allow negativity to take root in your life, it will affect your actions, your decisions, and ultimately your success. Remember this: you can't afford to let anyone's negativity block your path. You've got too much to do, too much to give, and too much potential to waste. Don't let the negativity of others become a weight you have to carry. Protect your peace, protect your vision, and surround yourself with people who push you to be better every single day. In the end, success isn't just about doing the right things. It's also about being in the right environment. And if negativity is poisoning that environment, it's time to make a change. Success is not measured by the standard that you set. Success is not measured by the standard that you utter. You know, one of the greatest tests in life is whether the people around you will support your dreams or try to talk you out of them. And the sad truth is, not everyone is going to cheer for your success. In fact, some people you may have known for years, will question you, doubt you, and even try to hold you back. They'll tell you it's too risky, too hard, too unrealistic. But here's the thing. They don't have to live your life. They don't have to carry the weight of your ambitions. And if they aren't willing to support your dreams, it's time to take a step back and assess whether or not they belong in your life. Look, every great achievement starts with a vision, something that seems impossible, something that others might not fully understand. It could be a new business, a career change, or even something as personal as getting in better shape or improving your relationships. But no matter how big or small the dream, there will always be people who will try to pull you back into the safety of the status quo. But the invincible you are, you will never settle for anything less. So imagine here's the problem. When you're surrounded by people who don't believe in your potential, you start questioning yourself. You begin to wonder, am I crazy for dreaming this big? But let me remind you, every single person who has ever achieved anything meaningful had to fight against doubt, both their own and the doubt of others. They faced resistance, not just from the world, but from the very people closest to them. When someone doesn't support your dreams, it's not because they don't care about you. It's because they care about their own comfort, their own limitations. They're afraid to see you go after something bigger because it forces them to confront their own fears and inaction. And that's a tough pill to swallow for many people. They'd rather keep you in the same place, stuck in the same routines, because that's what makes them comfortable. But you're not here to be comfortable. You're here to make a difference, to challenge the norm, and to push past the limits that society or even family tries to place on you. Now, I'm not saying you should cut off people just because they don't immediately see your vision. But what I am saying is this: don't let someone's lack of belief in your potential stop you from going after your dreams. You can't afford to be around people who are constantly telling you why you can't, rather than helping you figure out how you can. When you're trying to climb a mountain, the last thing you need is someone telling you that you'll never make it to the top. You need people who believe that the summit is not only reachable, but that you were born to stand there. If someone isn't willing to support your dreams, that's a reflection of their own limits, not yours. They may be stuck in their own fears, their own doubts, or their own insecurities. But you don't have to live in their world. You can create your own. And the people who truly care about you, the ones who truly want to see you succeed, will be right there with you, encouraging you every step of the way. Last paragraph. If you're blessed with 3, stick to 6. If you're blessed with 3, you have to surround yourself with people who understand your vision, who are willing to walk with you through the challenges, and who will cheer for your success. The road to your dreams may be tough, but it becomes much easier when you have the right people on your side. And if they don't show up to support you, then maybe it's time to let them go. Your future is too important to be dragged down by those who can't see it. Remember, your dreams are a reflection of your potential. Don't let anyone diminish that. When you truly believe in yourself and your vision, the right people will find their way to you, and they'll make your journey much smoother. But it starts with you. It starts with your belief. Keep your eyes on the prize and never let anyone's lack of support derail your path. Let me tell you something about toxic behavior. It's like a slow poison, and the worst part is, you often don't see it coming. It starts small, just a little lie here, a manipulative comment there, but before long it has worked its way into every corner of your life, distorting your thoughts and your decisions. Toxic behavior doesn't always show up as blatant hostility or outright attacks. It can be much more subtle, like undermining your confidence, making you feel guilty for setting boundaries, or manipulating your emotions to get their way. The problem with toxic people is that they prey on your good nature. They know how to push your buttons, how to make you feel responsible for their feelings, or how to make you doubt your own judgment. It's draining, it's exhausting, and it can leave you feeling like you're constantly walking on eggshells. Over time, you begin to question whether you're doing the right thing, whether you're being too hard on them, or whether you should just let it go. But here's the reality. Tolerating toxic behavior doesn't make you a better person. It just makes you someone who's allowing yourself to be mistreated. When you tolerate this kind of behavior, what you're really doing is teaching others how to treat you. You're sending the message that it's okay to cross your boundaries, that it's acceptable for them to manipulate you, and that you'll put up with their negativity or disrespect. But here's the thing. No one, and I mean no one, should ever be allowed to disrespect you. Not your family, not your friends, not anyone. You deserve respect just as much as anyone else. And if someone can't give that to you, they don't have a place in your life. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should cut people off at the first sign of discomfort or disagreement. We all have our moments, we all have our flaws, and we all make mistakes. But when toxic behavior becomes a pattern, when someone repeatedly takes advantage of your kindness, disrespects your boundaries, or manipulates you into doing things that don't serve you, that's when you have to make a choice. If you have to decide whether you're going to keep allowing them to poison your life, or whether you're going to take control of your own peace and step away. And here's the thing, it's not easy. It never is. But you need to understand something very important. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It's essential. You can't give your best to the world if you're constantly giving your energy to someone who's trying to tear you down. You can't build the life you want if you're letting toxic people hold you back, keep you in doubt, or drain you of your strength. In fact, one of the most courageous things you can do is cut ties with people who refuse to respect you. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to justify your decision. All you need to do is take a stand for your own well-being. A toxic person will always make you feel like you owe them something, but the truth is, you don't owe them anything. You only owe it to yourself to preserve your mental, emotional, and physical health. Life is too short to be surrounded by people who don't support your growth or who only bring negativity into your world. Every minute you spend tolerating toxic behavior is a minute you're not investing in your future. And let me tell you this, the more you allow toxic people to occupy space in your life, the more you limit your potential to grow, to thrive, and to achieve the success you were meant to achieve. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. Are you willing to keep putting up with toxic behavior? Or are you ready to step into a life where you're surrounded by people who support your growth, encourage your success, and treat you with the respect you deserve? Whatever answer you choose, embrace the process and let it go. The choice is yours. And remember, the price of tolerating toxic behavior is far too high. Cut it out of your life. Take control and move forward with the kind of people who lift you up. You know, some people are like energy vampires. They come into your life, and before you even know it, your enthusiasm, your optimism, your drive, they're all gone. And it's not because you've done anything wrong, it's because they've come to take more than they're willing to give. They're the ones who always seem to be in crisis mode, always needing help, always demanding attention, but never offering any support in return. Let me tell you something more. Execution is key. Choose something to accomplish and devote your mind to that one thing. It's a constant drain, and over time, you start to feel it. You can only give so much before there's nothing left for yourself. Think about it. How many times have you had a conversation with someone that left you feeling physically and emotionally drained? like you've just run a marathon. You go in with energy, eager to help, to listen, to be there for them. But by the time you walk away, you're left wondering why you feel so empty. The problem is, these people rarely give back. They take and take and take. But when it's your turn to lean on them, they're nowhere to be found. You see, the law of life is this. Relationships, whether personal or professional, are supposed to be a two-way street. They need to be built on mutual respect, shared energy, and equal contributions. If someone's constantly sucking the life out of you, and you're always the one giving, something is wrong. It's a one-sided deal, and no deal that's one-sided is sustainable in the long run. And my deal that's one-sided is sustainable in the long run. You might feel bad at first, guilty even, thinking that you should be the one to help them, that it's your responsibility to carry their burden. But let me tell you something, it's not. You can't pour from an empty cup. You have to refill yourself. And if someone is taking more from you than they're giving, it's only a matter of time before you run dry. The more energy you give to people who drain you, the less energy you have left for the things that matter most. Your goals, your growth, your happiness. Every minute you spend with these energy-draining people is a minute you're not investing in your future, and you don't get those minutes back. Time is your most valuable asset. Once it's gone, it's gone. So you have to be careful about where you spend it and who you spend it with. Here's the hard truth. You have to protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. You're building a future, and you can't afford to let people who drain you, who steal your joy, or who make you feel small hold you back. You've got big dreams, big goals, and you need all the energy you can muster to go after them. Every time you give your time and energy to people who take but never give, you're shortchanging yourself. Time after time, your motivation subsides and you change to a new plan. So instead of comparing yourself to other people who take but never give, you're shortchanging yourself, and that's something you can't afford. Now, I'm not saying you should be selfish or unwilling to help others. What I'm saying is that there's a difference between helping and enabling. There's a difference between giving and being taken advantage of. And if you're always giving, always there for people, but never getting anything in return, it's time to make a change. You need to ask yourself, is this relationship bringing me closer to where I want to be, or is it pulling me further away? Is this person adding energy to my life, or is this person slowly sucking the life out of me? There's no shame in setting boundaries. There's no shame in walking away from relationships that no longer serve you. In fact, it's one of the most important things you can do for yourself. You need people around you who bring energy, who push you to be better, who challenge you in the best possible way. You need people who fill you up, not those who leave you empty. That's why the saying goes, cut your losses loose. So take a long, hard look at the relationships in your life. Who's adding energy? Who's draining it? You don't have to keep people around just because they've always been there. You don't owe anyone your energy if they're not reciprocating. You're building something bigger, something better, and you need to protect that with everything you've got. Stop letting people drain your energy. Reclaim it, invest it in the things that truly matter. And if someone isn't contributing to that growth, it's time to let them go. There is something very powerful about the way people hold on to your past. And let me tell you, if someone is constantly reminding you of who you used to be or the mistakes you've made in the past, it's a sign they don't truly understand who you are now or who you're becoming. You see, the past is full of lessons, but it's also something you've already moved beyond. If you've learned from it, grown from it, and left it behind, then that's exactly where it should stay. Behind you. The challenge comes when others refuse to let go of your past. They hold you to that one moment, that one mistake, or that one period of your life. And every time you try to move forward, they drag you back to where you were. It's almost like they don't want to see you grow. They're too comfortable with the version of you that fits their narrative. The one that's familiar, the one that makes them feel secure, the one that doesn't challenge their own limited view of the world. But here's the truth. Your past doesn't define you. What defines you is what you're doing today and the actions you're taking to create the future you want. When people keep holding you to your past, what they're really doing is limiting your potential. They can't see the new you because they're too focused on the old version of you. They want you to stay small, stay safe, stay in the box they've created for you. But that's not the life you're meant to live. You were meant for bigger things. You were meant to evolve, to grow, to step into the person you've always been capable of becoming. And the only way to do that is to break free from the chains of your past. Look, we all have a past. We all have made mistakes. But those mistakes don't have to define us. The person who failed in the past is not the same person who's standing here today. If you've learned from your mistakes, if you've grown, if you've made the decision to be better, then you owe it to yourself to not let anyone hold you back. They don't get to decide who you are today. Only you get that privilege. If someone is constantly reminding you of your past mistakes, it's not because they care about you or want to help you grow. It's because they're stuck. They're stuck in their own version of who you are. And the real question is this: why are you letting them hold you there? You have to make a conscious decision to distance yourself from anyone who refuses to see your growth. People who only see the past are often afraid of the future. They're afraid of change. They're afraid of the unknown. And when they see you stepping into something bigger, they project their own insecurities onto you. They remind you of your failures because it keeps them comfortable with the version of you they understand. They cultivate you before you realize they're gone because they were helping you keep up. But if you're going to be the person you're meant to be, you can't afford to live up to their limited expectations. You've got to step into your future, not keep rehashing your past. You have to let go of the need for approval from those who are stuck in the past. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them a look back. You've outgrown that person. And you need to give yourself permission to leave that version of you behind. It's time to create the life you've always wanted, and that starts with stepping into the person you are now and the person you're becoming. Don't let anyone hold you to your past. Don't let them make you feel like you're not worthy of success, happiness, or growth because of who you used to be. Your future is waiting for you, but you have to be willing to leave behind the people who refuse to see the real you. The only person who can keep you tied to your past is you, so let it go. Let it all go and step into your future with the confidence that you're no longer who you were. You are who you're becoming, and that person is unstoppable. Envy and jealousy. These are two emotions that will sabotage your success faster than almost anything else. They're like poison to your mindset and can keep you trapped in a cycle of bitterness and negativity. You see, when you're focused on what someone else has or what someone else is doing, you're no longer focused on your own path. Your energy is being directed outward, not inward. And when you let envy or jealousy take hold, it's like you're giving away your power to someone else. Think about it. Every time you look at someone else's success with envy or jealousy, you're telling yourself that you're not enough, that what they have is something you can't attain. But here's the thing. There's no shortage of success in the world. There's enough for everyone. The problem is that when you focus on what others have, you take your attention off of the work you need to do to create your own success. It's the ultimate distraction. And it leaves you stuck in a place where you're constantly comparing yourself to others instead of measuring your progress against your own potential. Here's the truth. Someone else's success is never a reflection of your failure. Just because someone else is winning doesn't mean you're losing. In fact, their success can serve as a reminder that success is possible. If someone else can do it, you can too. Instead of letting envy or jealousy creep in, use that feeling as fuel to work harder, smarter, and more relentlessly toward your own goals. See their success as a sign that the world is full of opportunity, not as a reason to feel bad about yourself. Envy and jealousy are a form of self-sabotage. When you waste your time wishing you had what someone else has, you're not spending that time doing the work required to get what you want. It's easy to look at someone else's achievements and think they have it easy or that they don't deserve it. But the truth is, everyone has their own struggles, their own story, and their own obstacles to overcome. And most importantly, no one else's journey has anything to do with yours. You're on your own path. And if you stay focused on it, you'll get where you want to go. But if you keep looking over at everyone else, you're just going to slow yourself down. What you need to understand is that envy and jealousy are rooted in insecurity. When you're secure in your own abilities, when you know you're capable of achieving great things, there's no room for envy. You start to see the success of others not as a threat, but as inspiration. You can celebrate their victories because you know that your own victory is coming. The only person who can stand in your way is you. So when you catch yourself feeling envious or jealous, remind yourself of that. It's your own beliefs, your own actions, and your own decisions that will shape your future, not anyone else's.